Hello everyone. I'm going to give you a brief overview of our Heart of the City scheme in Sheffield and how in these difficult times we went about delivery and what it might mean for partnership with the construction industry. That's an overview of our scheme. It's a 7-hectare site in the middle of Sheffield city centre. Following the success of Sheffield's original Heart of the City project, we looked at that success and we built onto it to bring forward Heart of the City Phase 2 as a means of delivering a major regeneration scheme that had suffered from market failure that led to the original scheme being delayed by some 14 years. The new fresh approach by the council enabled that market failure to be overcome with a clear delivery plan which is now in place. Phase 1 has been delivered, Phase 2 is being delivered, and Phase 3 is about to be delivered with all the funding in place. This is Phase 1 with HSBC's new office. And this is Phase 2 under construction. You can see the HSBC office in the background there. The issue for Sheffield was not the lack of being able to create an investable real estate product, but the constraints of short-term capital gain over long-term value creation. Despite infrastructure funding from Yorkshire Forward, the then regional development agency, that dealt with the relocation of major infrastructure, the short-term metrics required by the private sector development partner were not achievable due to low rent values not driving up the final gross development value to a point where their profit on cost and/or internal rate of return hurdles could not be met. In 2012, Sheffield City Council's deal with government saw the introduction of a new statutory instrument creating a tax incremental financing zone around the scheme. This TIF funding went a long way to mitigate the lower gross development value, but not far enough. And with the potential for ongoing market failure preventing a regeneration scheme moving forward, the council moved into the development arena itself, using its own borrowing capabilities together with the additional funding source through the TIF scheme to bring forward the critical benefits of 7,000 jobs and an economic contribution of 3.7 billion into the economy measured through to 2030 through this £470 million development project. The gross development values have not really changed, and therefore a development loss is still being created on completion. However, for us, that loss will be recovered over a 40-year time horizon. The business case weighted the social and economic measures over the short-term development metrics. And the outstanding point to note is that the end products are income-producing assets that are attractive to the international investment market. So the greater gain beyond local measures are the long-term returns that deliver for the institutional funds, be that pension funds taking care of our futures, or the ability to attract investment from other funds, creating foreign direct investment opportunity into the United Kingdom. Currently, all occupiers have secured a Dun & Bradstreet 5A1 credit rating, therefore adding to the quality of the investment grade product that is achievable more rapidly without waiting for short-term development metrics to be achieved. Key lettings to HSBC, CMS, Radisson, John Lewis and Partners, and H&M Brands Weekday and Monkey are all top covenant lettings. A fundamental issue with development is the coverage of risk. This risk, as we all know, is what the development profit covers. However, if the output values are not high enough or the input costs are too low, then the development risk margin becomes the issue for viability and projects do not proceed, and the construction industry and supply chain suffer in the process. Where appropriate, being able to accept that risk and fund it over a long period can be the key to unlock development quickly, as is the case for Heart of the City 2 in Sheffield. The role of the development manager is now coming to the fore, and it's a switch that development companies, where they would have taken that risk normally, are now finding a new role in development management. Sheffield, in not having the capacity in pure real estate development or the experience as an organisation, therefore followed a path of securing a private sector partner with that experience and skill set, but with the council taking the development risk balanced over a long time frame. A partner in this case is Queensbury Real Estate. Key was the master plan, which has enabled progress based on securing anchor tenants who are acting as a catalyst, developing confidence and creating demand, and the ability to phase financial commitment on a block by block basis rather than be committed to the whole funding package at day one. This has enabled major contracting firms such as BAM, Galliford Try, Hulton, Esch, and Henry Boot to win the construction work that's been available thus far, but more phases are to be released soon. Alongside the construction work is the design team supply chain, with key players such as Arup, Turner and Townsend, Leonard Design Architects, HLM Architects, Field and Clegg Bradley Studios, to name a few. So this method of master plan delivery, with phased risk being managed over the long term, has enabled major regeneration projects to come forward. We have already let one block to the private fund of Angelo Gordon, and this is a New York fund, and they're delivering a PRS scheme in Sheffield, their first PRS scheme in the UK. Some of the remaining phases of the scheme will also be put out to the private sector development market, as it is felt that the particular viability issues affecting the site have now been overcome through the council's development role, heavy lifting, and long-term risk apportionment. So ultimately, through the instrument of TIF, the council was able to borrow against future business rate revenues to mitigate the development viability gap, to produce investment-grade real estate, create jobs, and add to the economic growth and prosperity of the country. So in conclusion, I believe we need to see various forms of financial stimulus packages from government for local authorities to help bridge the gap between short-term gain and long-term investment that will assist in economic recovery, rejuvenate and regenerate our towns and cities, and create jobs and foster new skills through putting new forms of public and private partnership at the forefront of moving the United Kingdom forward. I trust that in Sheffield, we've set an example and a new benchmark. Thank you very much.